we are going to learn about microservices and architecture. So it is an architectural style that you can follow in your software development. So far you have learned monolithic architectural style, and so far whatever you have developed, it is based on monolithic style architecture, and how large projects which consist of more modules, more number of customers, and which want to be there in the market for a long time, such kind of projects can follow microservice architecture. So now we are going to learn about what is this microservice architecture, and what are the styles, and what is the benefits, advantages, all those things we are going to discuss now. So microservice architecture, which breaks down an application into a collection of smaller interconnected services. Services are a kind of a module, and which is going to handle the request of a customer or any other module which raises a request. But here the application is not following a single layer style, and everything will not be built into a single service, but here there are multiple services. Every request which is going to be handled by different sections, compartments, modules. So that is why each service is focused on a specific business function and can be developed, deployed, and that can be scaled independently. So here the dependency is less, and there are problems encountered in one will not affect another. That alone can be repaired and modeled and launched again. And you can change the part of an application individually without interrupting the. For example, while you consider a car, there are different components present in the car. Everything is not molded in one single stretch. Everything is molded individually, and which is working independently, but collectively it is giving joint outputs, and finally the car is running. But if you want to remove a certain component and want to bring some replacement of other manufacturer's model over there, that is possibility, and customization is allowed. So here also software is designed in such a way, and which will not affect other components when there is a problem. When there is a repair, that alone will be taken and modeled, and once it is functioning, then it will be integrated back. But you no need to test any other modules or all the modules, since one is affected. Okay, so the components will talk to each other using the application programming interfaces. So we are going to learn what is API, application programming interface. It's a private API or a public API or internal APIs. So through which a request is going to be handled. And with the help of microservice architecture, you can have a complex, but the application will be a little complex, but it is scalable. So customizing is possible, extension is possible, technology modification is possible with such kind of architectural styles when you follow in your design. So we just want to learn little things on API. Already you know about it's an application programming interface. It is also a software with its own functionality. Specific functionality will be there. And with the help of an interface, you can get services from this API gateway, and you can connect the application. And it is like a middleman app, and it is called as a middleman app in and offers services through web application or to a mobile application. And it allows user to create application that can interact with each other and other application services or any platform. So here you can see there are end users and who can browse or access from their mobile device, and when they click and when they asking for a request, okay, that will be placed here through the API gateway. And here different services and different web server or database servers will be there, application server will be there that will respond back to the client's request. But here okay, so you can connect a third-party API or a public API or an internal API through which this kind of a service will be addressed. And so as I have told, different type of APIs are there. Open API, there anyone can use and access without permission. Okay, so you can start using this open API. For example, if you want to convert speech to text converter or text to speech conversion, there is an API may be available that you can integrate with your application in your search engine. that is possible. And internal API, the company or the organization, they can develop and they can integrate with that is for communication with different information between some internal applications. So some internal payment part or a design which is, for example, EduServe is integrated with any event payments. So that is an internal API which is connected, and but which is connected with the external API, that is Paytm. With the help of third-party API, you can get the services, but finally it will be reflected back in the web application, through which they can able to track and get the report and to know who are the customers paid, how many numbers of students register for this event, how many number of people order for this particular product. So likewise, they can get to know the information. And so there are some protocol based APIs are there, use case based APIs are there, and the protocol REST API, SOAP API. Why? Because of offering some HTTP services or for some message based services. This kind of APIs also you can integrate with your application. So you no need to develop once again. Already it is there and you can just integrate. That's it. So these are different type of API. So, and web application will be designed, and when you click, okay, that will be verified by someone. Okay, the address, the map will be, for example, these based on these two search instead of a private search. Through the application search, map will be embedded or displayed on the same screen. The user no need to move from one screen to another or one application to another application. The API is integrated, so that's why it is handling the request of the customers. So that are offered through. So APIs plays a major role in microservices. So microservices which are needed for building large application, and you can divide them into small services. Services are kind of a module or a code which can able to answer the request of the client, but everything is not put under one single module. Okay, so split it up so that handling will be easy. And each piece, that means each service has its own responsibility, yes, or to say input, which are specific in their operations. And when a customer places a request, it will fulfill the user request. So what are the characteristics, like monolithic architectural characteristics we have learned? Similarly, we are going to learn about microservice architectural characteristics. So it's split into numerous components will be there. So more components, more split up, and robust and resistant to failure, because that component alone will be taken out and tested and can be integrated. And a simple routing process and decentralized operations built for modern businesses. All these are some of the characteristics, or the, we can say in terms of benefits also. So easy to build, organize, improve productivity, flexibility, autonomous, cross-functional across different teams, and it can work with different technologies. The software can be integrated when you develop based on microservices. And it's the best practices. Why it is best? Because ensuring relevant use case and stakeholder supports you can get in case stakeholders are changing or the use cases are changing, easy to modify. So that is why adapting functional, and it's more secure, and functionality wise, okay, functional non-functional features are classified and developed and offering different kind of services. Deploying and hosting, we are doing, okay, so separately that is possible. That is why one component is not working, we can take it out and you can test and you can integrate. And monolithic application architecture, you have to if you want to modify, you have to go from the like a waterfall model. From the beginning you have to start, modify, then integrate, test from the beginning. So here it is not needed in that way. Only when it's connected with the previous and the next module, that alone is needed for fixing after its bugs. And implementing centralized operation and cutting edge security is there. So it supports for centralized operations and cutting edge security, and suitable for modern businesses, opting for service specific data management and storage. So that is also a best way of handling through this kind of microservice. So at last, the final benefits when you discuss continuous delivery and deployment, better scalability, improved fault isolation, greater flexibility, smaller development teams, higher software testability, improved maintainability. All these are there while you consider. So at last, it increases the profit of the business. So when you want to switch, there are, for example, your monolithic apps drag you down. For example, you cannot able to handle the bugs and you have to rewrite and more time you have to spend. So at that time you have to decide your application is supposed to shift or to follow or upgrade it to monolithic, microservices. Or if you added some or upgrading any hardware, any operating systems or any new software hardwares when you want to integrate or you want to bring some business style that you already follow, you want to do a refinement, so at that time your organization need to follow a microservice based application development. And if you want to do scaling up, you want to targeting many customers, you want to take your business to the world level and more customers, different environments, then you need definitely a microservice based development to be incorporated. You need to diversify your operations and optimize the infrastructure, want a future software solution. So if you predicted that you want to be in the market for a long time, so then you can choose microservices. So some of the microservice success stories I want to share with you about some of the a few organization. For example, here Netflix. The story goes like this. So there are many companies they have included and moved from monolithic to microservices because of that they got benefit. So there was a major corruption in 2008 August, the same month, Netflix encountered because of vertical data structure which is not suitable. So vertical means okay, it's structure is not suitable, and that's why the company want to migrate from cloud to AWS based architecture. And so there are more difficulties definitely be there in the IT team. And finally microservices okay incorporated in the entire operation, and 2011 they have completed. So so they have now started supporting both in-house as well as a cloud server. And again they have faced the problem like duplicate data or replicating the same, there is a need migration problem. um, so finally they have overcome this problems, and now they are in the market, and they reached, after following this microservice based architecture, they reached the market $24.9 billion in revenue in 2020 because of this microservice based architecture styles. They have included AWS based style when they have incorporated inside their application. So maybe there was a flow, but lot of APIs, the flow of data, a lot of changes they have. Same business, but lot of architectural styles because since they have followed only vertical architecture in the beginning, later on they modified. Okay, synchronous, asynchronous, as well as asynchronous, one-to-one, one-to-many. So such kind of architectures when they followed, okay, so that brought a huge benefit in their services. And one more company, Zalando, is an European fashion technology company and consists of 16,000 employees in 2021. And it is based on Magneto and platform. And the company had a problem, and to okay, so in the beginning and the later on they have accommodated this microservice based architectural style, and now the company is choosing AWS and Docker for deployment. Finally, their IT team, okay, so 200 microservices are currently they have incorporated inside the application. So the company changed from 150 million euros in 2022 almost 8 billion euros in 2020. So this is the status migration from monolithic architecture to microservices, AWS and Docker for deployment. Finally, they have encountered this is the benefit. So the growth is given 0 to 10 billion. So likewise, the curve increased because of this microservice architecture. Before that, when they followed the Zalando monolithic, okay, so there were a lot of limitation. Okay, bug density was more, rigidity, and so now they have incorporated some of the design patterns of microservice architecture in their development. Now productivity and innovation growth are there, and which increases the speed of but at the same time quality is also there and growth is increased. And 2008 they have followed this monolithic kind of an architecture, and 2015 micro front end okay, mosaic, and so little modification in the application finally incorporated APIs, and that offers microservice based services and improve their business. And so all these are some of the architectural styles they have brought: front end as well as the back end as well as some dependency styles, and final till the user comes in for fashion buying and to order and payment. So they brought a lot of changes in their architecture based on this microservice style and patterns, the handling of requests of the users, so they are profited in the market. Thank you. So I hope more microservice architectures you may also incorporate in your projects for increasing the benefit wherever you work in any project or in any organization. When you do microservice, when you are suggest for your business, when they follow the monolithic style, so you can project to your company that this much revenue you can generate based on some prediction analysis. So that is required at present in the market. So I hope you can also apply such kind of style